Hello and welcome to another update video about the Sandbox. Sandbox did come down obviously here into the blue target area that was end of January, a possible buying area. Yeah, and as always said, these areas are not there for fun. We then came all the way up to here in this beginning of an uptrend already, all the way up to 486. The top here was exactly when I did my last video, around the 9th of February, I think it was. And I made you aware that a correction would be coming very soon. And I think directly after the video, we started the correction and have actually come down. How much? Let's take a look. We've actually come down a nice 20%. Okay. So yeah, I told you that a correction would be coming soon based on, if we just take a look on the 4-hour chart, the Sandbox was overbought, for example, on the RSI. So it became very obvious. On the daily, there was more room for further upside. But also just purely looking not only on the RSI, but looking on the wave count, we could see a potential downtrend starting. And we need to adjust here this trend line. So that was obviously broken. And on the 4-hour chart, it looks a bit different anyway. So we had this ascending trend where we found support, but then here found a little bit support again on the 12th of February. That was here at 424. But then lost that as well. So there are a few possibilities how to see that, right? We can see that the Sandbox is particularly strong. Yeah. Also, the chart is looking stronger than, for example, for, let's call it maybe Chainlink or maybe Solana, which actually in this move up after they hit my target areas. Yeah. Okay, Chainlink didn't, but Solana did. After, for example, Solana hit my target area here, it started to move up, but only very weak, and the current move down was fairly strong. What the Sandbox did do differently, it moved up very strongly here, and the potential or the downtrend which is starting now is, compared to the move up, fairly weak. So what I said before, the potential is still that we could have seen the low for the Sandbox already, where I do expect still quite a lot of move down, for example, for Chainlink, for Bitcoin as well, even though for Bitcoin there's this other scenario where we could first see a move up, basically an extension of the correction, but to the upside before we then come down into my target area below 28.7k. But the low could be in for the Sandbox, okay? The reason I say that is we have more than other cryptos have done a potential 5-wave move here to the upside already. And you can label that as such as well. So we've got this 5-wave move down on the chart here, which you can absolutely in a valid way interpret that as a 5-wave move down, and that could be complete. And then here to the upside, we might have now another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That could be a first 5-wave move, absolutely. And this is looking much more likely than like a 5-wave move compared to, for example, Solana. Yeah, you can even interpret this as a 5-wave move without going to some sort of a diagonal pattern or anything. So many cryptos that did this move up did it in a, you can call these oftentimes 5-wave moves, but only if you consider them under a diagonal pattern. And these sometimes happen in the past as well, but the whole structure of the chart looks oftentimes not right. Yeah, and here for the Sandbox is looking a bit different. We have a strong move up, and now, as expected, we see this correction after it couldn't break through the 50-day moving average. And what this could now be after this potential 5-wave move, this could be the beginning of an A. So you have a wave A, B, and a C. Yeah, and based on that, you can now expect some sort of support here, maybe a counter move in a wave B to the upside, and then a wave C. Now, I can give you a rough price target for a wave B, but that would depend on, that this is already the low. Yeah, that this is the low. We don't know that yet. You can expect typically then this to go up to at least the 0.5 Fib level. So that would be sitting at 436. So if you see something like that, where the wave B now, where we see a beginning of an uptrend again, this is going all the way up to 436, between 436 and I would say 463. Then you're probably seeing that wave B. Is there a potential we go through straight away? I think not that much. Yeah, I would want to see that wave B first, then a wave C to the downside, because this here, all of this, what we see here as a potential 5-wave structure, would then again be a higher degree wave 1 coming down in a wave 2. In a wave 2, you would normally come down lower, yeah, than what we are currently doing. So that tells me the correction of this uptrend isn't finished yet. If we draw the fibs for that wave 1, 2, you should at least come down, I think, to 347. Yeah, next support would be at 374. That's the 0.5 fib level. I think we might actually get there before we see that move up and then down. But in that wave 2 here that we are seeing here potentially at the moment, we should see the 347 level or $3.10 or 287. So this is the area where I would expect it to land in the end, but only if this is already the first wave up. We don't really know until we see here a major higher low. Yeah, so that is what I would want to see. As I said before, these target areas down here in blue, they weren't here for fun. They were possible buying areas. I did buy in these areas, and for me, yeah, I mean, you can only go with probabilities, can't you? And at the moment, I think even now in the current correction here, this is attractive again. After we already moved up to 483, you can just see how strong generally the metaverse cryptos still are. And I did say oftentimes before that I think they're going to do really well also in 2022. If they're going to be here in 5 years' time, that's a different story. I don't know, but I think 2022 will be the year of metaverse again. Now, again, another reason why I think we could drop a little bit more before we start that wave B to the upside is that we still have a bit of room here on the 4-hour chart. On the RSI, we're nearly oversold, not quite yet, so you can expect a little bit of further move down, and especially on the daily chart as well, you're not oversold yet. There is still a little bit of room for further downside, but also we are in the bearish range again. Okay, so you haven't held here above the 50 line of the RSI, which tells me actually that more of a correction could be coming. And also the MACD on the daily is currently pointing further here to the downside, and possibly we're getting a bearish crossover. So yeah, also need a bit more patience, but everybody who missed the low here needs, obviously, yeah, it's up to you. Can't tell you to go in now or not. That's no financial advice here, it never is. But I'm just saying that I think the correction here isn't finished yet. Maybe for now you see another wave up here in a wave B, possibly retesting the 50-day moving average again at roughly 450 at the moment, and then you're going to come down once more in another larger correction, and then it remains to be seen, is this going to be a higher low or a lower low? If it's going to be a higher low, we can kickstart from here, I think, and then we could see something similar to what we saw here around October, November. Quite a strong move to the upside, quite an impulsive one then. The first wave is typically fairly weak, and the next one will then be quite strong. Yeah, so it's interesting to watch the metaverse cryptos. So hopefully you liked the update about the Sandbox. If you did, please smash the like button and subscribe. And if you really like the content, maybe consider to join as a channel member. And for that, you can find all the links in the video description. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.